Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thanks to the great presentations of Pascal and Paolo, I'm only going to speak on one topic where I also intervened, which is the one on competitiveness and trade. Now, as ESM, we are following this very closely because competitiveness means growth. And growth is key to minimize the risks of financial instability. So that is the reason why we follow this very closely. On the other hand, competitiveness is also key to be successful on external markets. And if you have a look at the numbers, and it was already explained quite clearly by my two predecessors, in terms of impact of foreign trade, Europe stands in a different position than others because external trade represents 60% of GDP for EU countries, whilst it is only 27% for the United States and 38% for China. So obviously, if there is fragmentation of trade happening, as we have witnessed because of many reasons, geopolitical being one of them, obviously Europe is more impacted by definition than others. Let's also not forget that last year, global trade of goods was declining compared to the year before, which is a very rare occurrence. So in this context, there's three aspects I highlighted how to react to that. One is what countries themselves can do, and so structural reforms, prioritizing investments is one answer, and we can see that those countries that have gone through that effort are also reaping the benefits from it by having higher growth than other countries in the euro area. And the second thing I underlined is what can Europe do in this international context, and obviously it is in the best interest of Europe to defend the rules-based international trading system that we have known, but at the same time it should not be used to our detriment. In other words, as the Commission just said and has highlighted, we can on one hand we should de-risk, but at the other hand we should avoid to decouple. You can also phrase it differently by saying we are keen for openness in Europe. At the same time, we have to have the necessary autonomy, even if this sometimes in the short term could lead to restrictions. Last but not least, I highlighted, like many others, that Europe has also its own homework to do, which is to strengthen the banking union on the one hand and modernize and deepen the single market. This would obviously boost private investments, especially in the field of digital and green transition. Last but not least, if we are more competitive as Europe, we will be less vulnerable in case of external shocks.